Well, folks, we really hope you enjoy learning about Pixiepunk as a band. Now you're going to learn about them as business people because, of course, music is a business. And in this episode, we're going to talk all about what works for bands now that didn't a few years ago, but also what they can look forward to down the pike.
Additionally, we'll talk money and how you make money in 2026, as well as when to pivot when things aren't going your way. And we will also ask them about the hardest truth that they've discovered in the industry.
So much to talk about. Sit down and take some notes.
Citywide Blackout starts right now.
Welcome to Citywide Blackout, the place where writers, musicians, and creators from cities all over the world come to hang out, dive into their works, peel back the curtain on their creative process, and provide knowledgeable, actionable insight that you can apply to your own creative masterpieces. With decades of journalism, media, and entertainment industry experience, your hosts Max Bowen and Curtis Hughes provide fun, informative, and sometimes outrageously bizarre interviews that will keep you enlightened and entertained with a few F-bombs thrown in for emphasis. So put up your feet, grab a beverage, and let's go.
All right, well, TJ, you mentioned the business side of this, and of course, this kicks off the second part of our show. We're going to talk all business now because, of course, what you do, it is a business. You have to really treat it as such. So, question for the two of you: what would you say is working today for bands that maybe wasn't working a few years ago? That's finally catching on or finally showing like dividends.
That's a good question.
Physical merch.
Yeah.
Physical music, physical products. It is working in our life in a way that I couldn't believe.
Yeah, I mean, we're selling a lot of CDs, and it was something that we didn't do for a long time. Because who has a CD player?
Right.
And,
People are buying CDs. They're buying CDs again. They're buying, albums again.
Yeah,
we're selling shirts to random people on the internet. I don't even know how they found us. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I'd say that's definitely working right now.
Yeah, and it's because the one-to-one. I think for a long time, again, we're all under this like spell that like if we're not Taylor Swift and if we're not there yet, then we're not there yet. Versus like, yeah, she got there and shaking hands though and doing it one person at a time. And going back to like thinking you need people, like what you really need to do is put the time and the work in. And for a long time, I wasted a lot of time not shaking one hand at a time and not releasing one song at a time. And yeah, I think like what's going to work better than ever for artists today is actually you have the opportunity to build a small business for the first time in the history of music. I mean, I can't believe how, the more I've thought about it, like we're just this small bakery on the corner. And if we grow this amazing bakery, eventually, maybe we'll be Starbucks one day. But, that we all get caught in that perspective of we want to be Starbucks right away. And, it actually hurts you more than it helps you. So
exactly. More coffee, more problems, baby. I'm cool with saying I like it. I like what we have going on in our life right now. It feels really good to know that people want to like support us, but not only support us, they're buying it because they appreciate art and
independent music.
Buy it.
And that's what I would say. What's working now that wasn't working in the past is independent music. I think in general, and not obviously independent music has always worked, but we're really seeing, I think, the consumer, like the fan want and become more educated and want to go out and support the indie artists and understand that this artist is actually independent, and also the why, right? Like, I think we've seen so many artists who are so talented, put out music that has, like the fruit of that music and the generations raised on that music hasn't been, as fruitful as some of those artists or fans thought. And I think we're seeing a big shift in that. I think people are becoming more conscious of the type of music they want to consume and from who. So if you are a genuine artist out there who's genuinely has something to say with a unique perspective, I think, you have the opportunity to get more love and support than potentially a new product that's made by, Sony or Universal that they're putting out there in that way. So it's exciting. It's a really exciting time.
I think so too. Because we speak to a lot of, for example, comic creators, and we're seeing like the indie comic scene really get a chance to shine that it did not have in the past. You're seeing a lot of people putting out titles that are getting like just talked about all over the place. So I definitely agree. Like for the indie artists, this is a good time to be just around in general. But
absolutely,
I want to ask about promotion, because looking, of course, your socials, your Instagram, for example, 16,000 followers, like 47,000 followers on Spotify. Clearly, you're doing something right here. So when it comes time to promote the new single, how do you do that? What's your process?
Okay, so I think there's been so much trial and error in this process. We spent so much time and money and on things that didn't work. And like now we're finally starting to understand that certain things do move the needle more than others, and we try and focus on those things more. Like, for example, short form. We were very resistant to short form for a bit. Like I was saying, when we were first released with Mercury and the Architects, we were doing long form music videos. So we did like 6 long form music videos. And what happens with music videos is you have to promote those music videos, and they're their own asset.
Exactly.
Right? Whereas, the short form has created this opportunity where the short form is the promotional vehicle. The algorithm is trying to find people out there that might like this. And we go pretty hard, man. I post 5 times on TikTok a day. We post at least once on YouTube, at least once on Instagram. And then we do run ads. We both work full-time jobs, and we try and put every dollar that we can into running ads, knowing that we own that audience. And even that has been such a learning curve and time in terms of running the ads wrong and spending so much money and down the drain. And
we hate it, because I remember like 6 years ago, people were like, you just have to put the time in. And I was like, I don't want to put the time in. And now somehow we put the time in, and it's beautiful to see it's actually working. It's like we're dreaming a little bit.
And I would say too, on a rollout, like in general, as many angles as we possibly can, so we're going to post as many short form as we can. We're going to blast our email list. We're going to post on all of our socials. We're going to run ads. I'm trying to think what else we're doing now.
We do acoustic videos on YouTube now. We just recently started doing those. And it's doing so well. It's something that we always said we wanted to do, but maybe we didn't think it was going to work. I don't know, but it really does work. People want to see the raw form of this song that they heard 2 weeks ago. And so that's working as well.
And we're crazy too. Like, we have like spreadsheets of our audience, and we reach out to everybody one-to-one, and, we try and really build it grassroots. And I think for a long time that was like swimming against the tide a little bit. But I just think, the more this world becomes more algorithmic and more, me media, where, it's so hard to get your stuff in front of people. The one-to-one handshake is really working. And in general, I see, and including ourselves, we're so resistant to the short form stuff. It's so corny. It's so cheesy. But at the same time, we post something.
It freaking works.
If a post gets 30,000 views, and all these people come to the music.
Mad. At one point, I was like, no, TikTok. We do not make TikTok.
But we've also found a way to do it authentically for us. Like we post live clips of our show, and then we try and find like trending copy that other bands are using to put over those clips. And I see a couple people talk about, like, a lot of artists treat the marketing like it's like their art. And, I think
that's what we used to do.
Right. And what's helped us so much is like having a catalog of songs and having the music be the art and know that's the art has allowed us to really look at this more from like, okay, like maybe I need to stop being so creative on TikTok, and maybe I need to
dumb it down a lot. Like a lot. We were making content last night till 3 a.m. and
wow.
Yeah. Well, we got a new song coming out tonight, so you'll see our rollout.
In it, but
you'll see our rollout tonight. Hopefully.
Okay, I like that.
So it's interesting that we kind of go down this rabbit hole, right? Because we've got all the technology, all the social media, and we talk about artists wanting to just focus on their creativity and whatnot. But it raises an interesting point. You do have to look at your art as a business if you want to move this thing ahead and move the needle. And also, like it or not, you kind of have to be a little analytical with it, but you have to dive into the data to also find out what works and what doesn't, and kind of throw out the stuff that doesn't and move forward with the stuff that works. But that being said, making money or just making it as an artist in 2026, how have you both adjusted things when they don't work?
Oh, that's a great question. Research for a long time has been something that I'm creative. We're creative. So we just think we could come up with an idea and it's going to work. And, a lot of failure, I think, like failure has taught us. Failure has taught me a lot. and, thinking I got a great, clever idea, or we spend, a week making this amazing short form video and it gets like 100 views or whatever. Those are the things that really, change your strategy, because what's the goal? If the goal is to get this art that means so much to us, and we know that it's going to affect so many people out there, if that's the goal, which that is the goal, then we'll do whatever we have to do, as long as it doesn't take away from the integrity of that.
Exactly.
But yeah, and research, and that's the thing. I think those failures have helped us, realize, okay, maybe this person who, I don't really love their music, I don't love their message, but they're doing something right. They're doing something right. And I think, in general, more creative people who have, the message or the music, need to study the great business people in this industry who, or, a lot of rappers, for example, like Drake or whatever, they're doing something right. So you could not agree with their music, but from a business perspective, there's so much to learn, from these people. And I think it's obviously an extremely entrepreneurial business,
Yes.
So.
And it takes an extremely tough mentality, which helps a lot that we're a duo, because, on my weekdays, he can point me in the right direction and vice versa. I would say, as an encouragement to anybody who is going for their music career, going for their art, however, in what way, understand that we all have spent the money when we shouldn't have. We all have done the thing and spent the time that we shouldn't have. Everyone has. It's almost a rite of passage to be able to understand, how far will I go for this thing? Because a lot of people get off the train after the first failure. And if you do that, you have no idea what that failure could have taught you. You have no idea if you had just tried a little bit longer, if you had, tweaked it a little bit in some way, where it could have taken you next. I just want to encourage anybody that's listening to this that just experienced their first or second or third or fourth or 500th failure to just keep going, because like TJ said, why are you doing this? Think, what is my intention behind this? Is it to succeed? Because yes, there needs to be a level of success if you're really relying on this to be something that you want to make income from, you want it to be a lifelong thing. But there also needs to be such a level of heart behind it, or you're not going to make it, because it doesn't matter how successful this makes me. If I don't enjoy it, I would have quit. I would have quit the moment I started, because just like nursing and teaching, being a music artist sucks sometimes.
But it's also the greatest thing ever, right? So I know.
It is so hard to put yourself out there and put and say, look, I know there are other things I could be doing with my time on this earth, but I'm choosing to do this. And yes, I know it's hard, and family doesn't understand that. Your friends don't understand that. People that, do their life completely differently, it's hard for them to relate to the level of.
It's insane to people.
Yeah, it's an insane thing to try to do.
You have to be insane. And I think it really does come down to never quitting. I've just always had a very sports mentality with this. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know I'm going to win. I know if I just keep at it, and I know if I keep at it, and I know if I keep hitting the ball, I'm eventually going to hit a home run.
Any other life. So what would I be doing outside of this? I would be bored, and I would end up coming back over here, because this is what I'm meant to do. So I'm going to do it. And whatever level of success I reach, that's what happens. But I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah, I know our responses are so long-winded.
You should hear us at Denny's in the morning. My God.
So I was going to say, so to sum it all up, basically, for me, in my own mind, it would be your why has to be greater than your greatest setback.
Everything. I would say, and that's what I was going to build off of what she said. There is nothing else that I can do with my life. I've tried to be a businessman. I've tried to work for this company. I've tried to go down this path, and God has kept putting me exactly back here. And if that isn't happening to you, then, you have to really ask yourself that, I can't run from this thing. So therefore I'm all in. I think there's a lot of artists, and everyone's creative, and everyone deserves the opportunity to be creative. At the same time, really, really auditing why you're doing this. Is it because you want to make tons and tons of money? Because I'll tell you, there's so many other things you could do, and we could do together, to make tons of money.
Yeah.
And I think the fame and obviously TikTok, that's so alluring. But even that, I think like people are becoming more aware that that's not what they really want either. So it's like, yeah, why are you doing this? You know?
Exactly.
So what would you say is the hardest truth about being in the music and entertainment industry?
That it's really not about talent at all. I think that, you know, it's always been about the song. And I still think that there's so much to be said about that. At the same time, yeah, like I've learned so much about, you know, how obviously it's also all about business and marketing and relationships. And the hardest truth is to not look at the history of the business and think that that's like the future of your, you know, like because it is completely different. And we are so brainwashed by all of our heroes and all the ways that things used to be, when it's really not like that. And who knows if it ever was really like that, right? Like, you know, there's so many people that come out and say, oh, back in the 90s, or
it was discovered on the street. That's how I got into modeling. Oh, that my agent found me drinking coffee. That's how I got in this movie. It's like,
like they weren't doing all the things that you're doing now. Like, you know, people always be like, oh, in the 90s, like the label just did everything. Like, you know, the Prince, they were on radio shows all day long. They were talking to people all day long, marketing. And it's interesting to think that today, wow, like if you don't have those relationships, if you don't, but you made something amazing and people in the world love it and you share it, like, whoa, like imagine John Lennon knew that in the 60s, his brain would explode, you know? So I think the hardest thing is understanding the business. The hardest thing is that this is a business, and you know, the business and art are at war with each other.
Yes.
And the people in the business, from, you know, my experience, there's some amazing people in the business, but the machine of the business itself is designed to exploit.
It's abusive. It's such an abusive machine.
At the end of the day, I mean, you know, everybody, you know, is aware of these things, but yeah, the more we get into just the history of every artist that you think, oh, they were so successful, and then you really dig into like their full financial story or their full situation, and they got everything taken from them, or they weren't happy, or they ended up very addicted to drugs, you know? So it's like,
that's the amount that we know, you know, we know a lot now. We know Britney Spears, Justin Bieber, Taylor, like we know that there are serious levels to this thing that,
and that's the hardest truth is like we all grow up. It's like from Fight Club, right? Like you know, you all wanted to, that line, right? I forget what it is. It was like, you know, you wanted to grow up to be rock stars, and you know, you realize that you're not going to be one. And I think we've all thought that, oh, we have to be Justin Bieber or else we're not going to be happy. And like the reality is like, and I'm sure he's very happy in a lot of ways. Maybe he's not the best example, but you know what I'm saying? Like he's probably not as happy as you are with your wife and your kids and your union job, and you're just miserable trying to, you know, think that you want to be him when, yeah, like it's just a lie, you know? So that's been really hard for me because and us, we fall into that trap a lot of like, if we're not there, then we're not successful. And that it's just the lie. They want you to believe so that you don't go out and build something that can, you know, truly be something, you know, authentic and real for people.
So how would you define success then? If it's, because like it sounds like it can be very hard to sort of pin down what that is. So like how do you see yourselves as being successes?
I would say, you know, it's a conversation we have a lot, and I would say that we're very successful. Like we are successful, and if 8-year-old TJ from Staten Island knew where he was today and heard the music that he was putting out, and you know, the woman that he's doing this with, he would say he's very successful. At the same time, yeah, like you said, you know, how do you measure that? I think it's very important to have your own shtick with that, or else you'll be miserable, right? Yes. Because there'll never be enough. I'll get 1 million streams, $1 million, or you know, it'll never be enough. And you know, our goal is to reach as many people around the world as possible. I mean, really, like, you know, we want 8 billion people to hear this music. If, you know, 6 million people hear it, will we be unsuccessful? Yes, if we didn't do everything we could to do it. And I would say
that we don't appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
Because I gauge level of success on how I feel when I wake up in the morning and how I feel when I go to sleep. I mean, we're not making millions of dollars and millions of people aren't listening to the music, but I can say that I'm proud of myself. I have not thrown away my authenticity for this project. If anything, it's made me more authentic and it's made me more genuinely myself. And I think the same for you.
Yeah.
I think the longer that we've spent time chasing success, the more walls that we hit. each wall bounced us right back into realizing, okay, yeah, we do this because we love to do it, not because we have to or because we have to prove something, which I think our younger selves were more so looking at proving something rather than being something.
Yeah, and getting picked, getting chosen. And it's I think that's right. And I think that's the biggest truth is like, whoa, I've been waiting to be picked by something that I don't even want to be picked by,
Exactly. Exactly. Well, we have talked some pretty hard truths about the music industry, and hopefully there's some people still in the audience who still want to do this stuff. We're not trying to scare you guys off, okay? Like sort of be aware.
Stay in the fight.
Exactly. But for those who are just stuck at the launching pad, they're not really sure what to do. What's like a really good first step?
I mean, we talk about all the time the music, and what you're saying. I think, I think why you're saying it. I think as a writer, it took me so long to figure out what I actually wanted to say and who I actually was. And I think we live in a world where, marketing and distribution is at your fingertips. So it's like, I want to get this out there. I want people to hear my stuff. And, I would encourage people to be extremely patient and maybe post the process, show, start the brand,
you can
show the journey
a bit later because we've archived our stuff a bajillion times.
Yeah, but I think we live in a world now where obviously you know that a song can be generated in 30 seconds with Suno, and that person thinks they're a songwriter. And I would say that again, I'm pro creativity. I think everybody has the inner artist in them and should be creative, but it is a craft and it is something that we've dedicated our whole life to, and it's not something. It's not something I can really teach to someone fully either. I can teach the craft of songwriting for sure. And I know a lot of very crafty songwriters, but I'd also say this other thing. Go live your life. Go live your life and go into the wild and see what the universe and God has to show you. And if you have that intention, if you say, hey, I want to share myself with the world and I want to have something to say in my heart, you'll get it. Something will happen to you,
I love it. I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
Live your life, get as much experience and everything as you possibly can. Everybody always thinks they're old. They're too old. I'm too old. I remember when I was 18 years old. No, when I was 17 years old, I was terrified of turning 18. Then I was terrified of turning 20. You're a baby, you're a child, you're an infant. You just left the womb and the world is ready for you. And this is your time to explore. And even if you're in your 40s, your 50s, you are not old until you are in the ground is my saying. So until I'm in the ground, I can learn something new tomorrow that I know if I enjoy it, it's not only going to improve my songwriting, it's going to improve my life. So try a million things. I'm just now getting into making sourdough bread. Apparently that's a thing right now. I started it, just have to say, I was doing it before it was a thing.
Yeah.
I love
but
it.
Also too,
I see is somebody with, hey, I just started my first sourdough bread.
Exactly.
So that would be and that's what I say. You can having a growth mind. I don't want, like you said, I don't want to discourage anybody. I think there's so many things we didn't know how to do. We learn every day. We keep learning new things, and you can learn everything. But there are certain things that you can't learn from ChatGPT or from the internet or from even a podcast you watch. You have to go out and
learn confidence from it. Either you know how many. There was a million performances I bombed in my personal judgment of myself, but you have to do those things. You have to put yourself on the stage. You have to shake. You have to put yourself through the experience to eventually be able to have the true confidence. Say, I've been here, I've done this, and now I can sit here and really be at one with myself. When I perform now, it's a completely different experience than when I used to perform when I was inexperienced, when I was unconfident. Now I'm physically able to be so present that I can presently have a conversation with myself while presently addressing the audience and presently still continuing to sing the words.
Because of experience, though.
Because of experience and because of confidence. But before, my God, performances were gone and over, and I didn't even know it happened because I just go blank, and I lose my technique, and I lose the ability to be in the moment. I encourage you, if you're just now, like you said, on the launching pad and you're wanting to really get started, go perform as much as humanly possible. That's the best training you're going to get.
Exactly.
Is putting yourself in such an uncomfortable position until it's no longer uncomfortable for you.
Exactly. Right. And to what you said earlier, I'd like to share this story every so often. Yeah. People want to say, "Oh, I'm too old." Okay, as an example, I'm 45 right now. I'll be 46 in a few months. But 5 years ago, on kind of a whim, I actually got myself into doing voice acting. And now I have 3 published audiobooks. They're on Audible. I have 2 more coming out this year, I believe. Working on one right now. I have a couple more booked for like next year. I never went to acting school. I never went to broadcast journalism school. I never did any of these things. I am entirely learning as I go, and I started at the age of 40.
I love it.
I could have said, "Nah, it's too late. The ship sailed." I said, "No, fuck it. Let's try it and just see where it goes." So that's
your
what I would
voice
say.
Still works.
Exactly.
I mean, when's your voice gonna stop working? I mean, I hope I'll be singing when I'm 100.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love to hear that.
Just don't pick up smoking. I guess you should be fine. Just don't do that. Don't do that. You'll be okay.
That's the sound you're going for, right?
Yeah. This is my smoking.
You have a great voice for voice acting.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now that you mentioned, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense for you.
Yeah,
so I'm glad you picked that up when you're 40 years old, and I hope you continue doing it.
And to anyone out there who thinks, "Oh, I'm 50, I'm 60," dude, like you said, you're old when you're in the ground. Until then, keep doing stuff, and you never know what's going to happen. I don't have a segue here. David Curtis, I have no segue. Where's my segue in this one? We talked earlier about what has become good now that wasn't a few years ago, but let's look at our crystal balls down the road. What do you think will be the opportunities for musicians in the next, say, few years?
Opportunities for musicians in the next few years.
I mean, if I was a betting man,
he is,
which we talk about all the time. I want live music to come back. I think I'm always premature in terms of I know it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. It hasn't recovered fully since COVID. I think our experience playing live, we love to play live, and it's more difficult now to sell tickets and get people out because
even for the majors, it's hard.
But and we always talk when you used to go see Tom Petty or whoever, there wasn't Netflix, there wasn't Xbox, there wasn't all of these other things. It's I have so many other options, and I'm lazy, and I don't all of us, we're all lazy. I don't want to get up and go somewhere. So
not only that, I think we're so droned out by all of the stimulation that's provided in our day-to-day lives that we're not really feeling the depth of the soul at all times like they were in the Tom Petty days. I go to work, my kids, my wife, my this, my that. I need to feel alive. And where am I going to feel alive? I'm going to go to this concert, and I'm going to have nothing but this sound just penetrating my soul. Yeah. I think that, we've deadened ourselves as a society to needing to satiate the soul, because there's I got my phone right here. I can just go to sleep again, and I can just scroll, and I
always talk about that. Like if I had a cell phone, we were right after the generation. I had a cell phone maybe late high school. Mm-hmm. If I had a cell phone earlier, that I probably would have never written any of these songs because I was bored. I was losing my ADD mind was driving itself crazy. Whereas now, if I'm 12, I'm probably scrolling on TikTok, and then I'm probably inspired to make music more so because I see this other artist making music, and now I want to make music from this place of making a TikTok brand, which is awesome. And there's been such amazing music out there. Yeah,
the same song.
Right, you might not have written the same song exactly, and I see that a lot too, where artists are you see a lot of songs being made in the short form world that we live in, right? They're making the song for the content, for the short
that 15 seconds,
and I think that that is the complete opposite of what music really music is supposed to be, this collective thing. We're all feeling this common thread, this story that needs to be said, that who's gonna say it
today.
And now it's it's becoming this marketing content competition. And I would say that the opportunity that we're betting on. And, I think it's working out so far is that people are sick of that. People do not want that because I don't want that. I only do this because I want something different, And yeah, I think with the AI, everything going on and short form in general, there's only so much of that drug we're going to be,
I definitely agree. I think at some point we're going to see this sort of like we definitely saw it kind of like rise to like a high for a number of years. And I think eventually it will go down where it's like, you know what? I miss like I love going to shows. I'm lucky that I live in an area where there's a lot of opportunities for some really good live music. Yeah. And the coolest thing is when I get to talk to someone at a show. Some random person that I don't know who the hell they are, but we'll get to talking and just talking and talking. That's like a lot of fun. It's always good when someone has that
connection.
Only whatever it is that you're drinking or whatever you're doing, but also the music and the band, which is great.
Oh yeah.
Core moments. It's core moments in your life that you wouldn't be like the dopamine of, like you said, meeting someone new, having a conversation while this music is playing. It's creating such memory in your body that actually makes your life slow down. I mean, they've proven it time and time again, but if you do the same thing every single day, your life goes actually perspectively goes by faster than if you do something different every day. Right.
Yeah,
so
they just said something. It's so true. Like live shows bring people together and people that might have not been together before. And then again, we live in this me world, right? Where everybody's on their own. They're in their own algorithm, just getting their own echo chamber of whatever they want to hear. Yeah. And then, you go to an event and that is what brings you together. And you guys are completely different. You have two completely different algorithms, but that's not true. You realize, we're all much, closer than we think. And like, that's what's really like painful about the lack of live events and what happened with COVID in general,
Even just financially, like on the opposite side of that spectrum, because it's getting harder and harder to even just be an adult in this society. Everything costs more than it ever did. Gas is crazy. Parking's crazy. Everybody's abusing the parking system. Why does it cost me $40 to park at this crappy garage, but whatever, where I get robbed every 5 seconds. But on the other side of the spectrum of what we're saying, like, I kind of hope in the near future that it is also possible to utilize technology to reach places that otherwise I can't afford to reach right now. So like we have a ton of fans in Germany, like a ton. Germany loves us. And, flights are expensive, my friend. We all know that it's expensive to travel nowadays. Like it's expensive enough to go to New York. I was just there recently and it was a nice, pretty penny to go there. So I kind of hope in the near future that there are more technological advances to host an online VR experience for our fans in Germany, where it's like we set the stage in our house or wherever we want to do it, and we've got the 360 camera, and they put the VR on, and they're physically in the room. We see them, they see us. Something like that would be super cool too. So hoping that they're working on that.
Yeah, I mean that's good for everybody, totally. But yeah, at the same time, I would say nothing is good. Like even like you see with the metaverse, right? They said the metaverse was going to take over the world, and everyone would be in concerts in the metaverse, and it flopped. And there's something to be said.
The metaverse was just ridiculous because nobody's going to wear that on their face all the time. Sorry, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
no.
Who knows?
It's not going to happen.
I will say too, I think this is the most unpredictable time that humans have ever lived in general, and especially music. I mean, the whole music business with AI and everything. Who knows where things are going to be in 2 years? But I don't think anything's ever going to replace the human artist. And this, like me and you and us four talking like this, is like. That's never going anywhere.
But to, again, reiterate my point, we're not in person right now.
Right, yeah, exactly.
We're using technology to connect.
Exactly.
So there's two sides of the spectrum. I do sincerely hope, though, like you said, I do sincerely hope that live music has a resurgence. And I think the way that we're planning on doing that is something we've been doing on TikTok a lot, is we're offering free tickets. If you show that you commented on one of our TikToks that had this specific thing, free ticket to a Pixiepunk, any future concert that we have. So the more the merrier. And it's worth its weight in gold to have people in the room rather than to have money in the pocket.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about what is the worst advice that every creative is still doing that you notice or following?
Oh boy. Oh
I know,
boy.
I open that can, but
Just
man.
like set fire now.
No, that's funny. I think, I think there is just like the listening to too many people. Like I think even myself, I'm guilty of this. Like everybody is selling a book. Everybody is selling their own brand, So like a lot of the time, and people share such amazing advice, but yeah, like, I need to do things to be successful. Like I need to post a song every week. I need to post on Instagram every single day. I need to do this, where it's like everything is subjective. Or am I answering the question? Was that the question?
Yeah. Still wrapping my head around the question because it's such a good question that I'm like, there is an answer and it's clever, it's funny, and it's on the nose, but I can't find it yet. He asks, What did you ask?
What's the worst advice that creatives are doing or following?
Still following. They probably shouldn't be. Yeah.
Worst advice creatives are following. I'm in the music realm.
I would say it's probably not
what do you guys think?
Doing more of like the one-to-ones, relying too much on the TikTok and YouTube, not getting out more, interacting with the artist community that you're a part of. Like if you live in an area.
Being mysterious, like being having too much, like exactly. Like, and even we get caught in this because you want to protect your brand. You want to show the myth of the artist. But at the same time, it's like what really builds a business, builds anything is that the human connection and one-to-one. So yeah, I think exactly what you said, like not DMing your fans back, not answering to every single comment, and not making sure that you know everything you can about that person and overserve that person. It's like, this idea that like, all of us artists we're entitled. We're all entitled, including ourselves. Like we want everything to come to us because we did this thing. Look at us. Look how special we are. And really it's like the opposite. I think we're of service, and like you have to be of service to the world and your fans.
I thought of one, and it's been recently presented to us by somebody, and I see it. This advice has been given to us, is to basically pick a side. Any side, whatever side, be abrasive in some way. I hate that. I'm
like rage baiting, like rage baiting, like creating, like you have to create content on the internet that gets comments and gets likes and gets clicks.
Your niche, right? And in order to find your niche, you have to make all of these people over here hate you. So that
is something I've heard a lot. Like I've
literally physically told someone in their face, I said, I am not going to do that. I do not feel in my heart that I'm the type of person that is abrasive. If you meet me, I will shake every single person's hand in the room. I don't care what they look like, what they sound like, where they're from. I don't care. As long as they don't have dog poop in their hand, I'm shaking their hand. So I don't appreciate people giving artists advice to basically like, well, if you're not getting good traction on your music, try picking an angle that is abrasive and then it'll work, because people will naturally align with you just because they align with that angle. And I just don't agree with that at all.
Don't go like picking fights on Twitter, please. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Be constructive.
It's true too.
For now,
it's like
whatever it is.
Right. Exactly.
No one calls it that.
We always say like most of the things people say online in those contexts, they would never say in person. Right. So it's like, and I think that's also, the internet is such a perception world. I don't know if you guys are like, keep up with the company. They do a ton of user generated content with that band Geese. I don't know if you've been following that story at all, but there was a band Geese and they worked with a company, Creative something, and this company is a marketing company, and they basically they create a lot of fan accounts, and they'll kind of astroturf the brand out there, which is like a big strategy today, which could like do that, create different accounts to post your music and do it. But where it gets, I think, very crazy is that they're also creating accounts that are like commenting on other accounts and creating discourse and like astroturfing everything. So like I would say it's like there's just a lot of marketing advice that we all hear on the internet that it helps, but it in certain ways, but it could also be way more detrimental to your brand and what you really want to do with your audience.
Just you as a human being, don't Don't like lay down. Don't become someone you're not, because you're not going to be able to sustain that, right?
And the algorithm,
right?
Yeah.
The world is political enough as it is. Let the music speak for itself. Let people make their own decision and judgment based on like someone can hear a song and they can get something completely different from the next person out of it. And that's beautiful. And that's why music is magical, to be honest. You listen to the same song as me and you don't hear it the same way that I do.
Yeah.
And if we're told exactly like, oh, this music is for vegans and this music is for carnivores, like,
right. And that, I would say that's a big thing going right now where like to be successful in the music industry, you have to find your exact target audience. I make, hyper pop music for 27-year-old boys who vape or whatever. That's a terrible example, but like in the sense of like, and that's how I'm going to get the algorithm. And then the algorithm's going to show, my stuff to all those people. And, there's like something to be said about that, but there's a very limiting form of expression. It's a very limiting form of art. So, yeah.
That's a great question. I really liked that.
Here's one more I'm going to try to throw at you here. So what is a popular idea in music that you don't agree with?
Popular idea.
Like what's going on right now that you see this trending and popular, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really don't agree with it in your heart, in your soul with what's going on, or like, should you be doing
a lot of things? I'd say a lot of things. For me, I always think lyrics are way more important than a lot of the songwriters and producers and artists that I've worked with and I've loved, like I've worked with people who don't really care about the lyrics. It's whatever, it sounds good. And that's amazing. And like Max Martin, and I've never worked with Max Martin, but people have studied that and have, taken that approach of the melodic math and, the phonetics of how the word sounds. And, spiritually, it just doesn't sit right with me. I think, there is something so important, magical, spiritual about the words that we choose to use. And, that's always been something that it just isn't talked enough about in general.
Yeah, we have a saying in our house, it's words matter. It's 2 words, super simple, but words matter and they carry weight. And yeah, I'd say that a lot of the music, and it goes back to our conversation about the short form content, because this is fed from that short form, like dopamine hit, is that, it's literally the intention is to create a dopamine spike, not create a moment. Not create a moment that lasts, not create like a sense of like a thought process. It's really just like, oh, let's keep the attention, right? Instead of let's ask real questions. Let's get people to think. Instead, it's let's get people not to think. And it's like anti-music, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and even our experience in Sync, like, we have some success with Sync and we've written a lot of songs and it's as much as we love, like you get a prompt and it's like, okay, we're going to make a song for this thing. I would say that is a lot of what the music industry has become is these sessions, right? Yeah. And like I heard, was it Hotel California? I think it was Hotel California, where they were talking about how long it took him to write that song. And it took him years. And he was at the piano every single day playing the same part over and over and over again. That doesn't really happen as much anymore because these big hit songs, they're done with, hey, this publicist is connecting this producer with this artist, and they're going to have a session, and we're going to see what happens in 6 hours. And if nothing great happens, then it wasn't a smash, and we're moving on. Right. And, I think some of the best songs ever, Hallelujah. I think, Leonard Cohen is quoted saying that he wrote it almost over a decade or something like that. I forget how long,
Most beautiful songs in history. And also not a short song, super long, lots of verses.
Yeah. And
lots and
I'm sure he slaved over every word in the sense of really thinking about, is this the best, thing for the song? And then you got AI, right? And I would disagree with AI as
well, that was the easy answer, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would disagree. I think AI is an unbelievable research, marketing, business partner, like for strategy, it's empowering independent artists in ways where, I don't have to pay $10,000 to get a marketing, consultant who's just gonna take all the research and data out there anyway, and give me, a plan based on what's working. That's amazing. To think that AI is going to like
be the artist for you
is very dangerous. It's so dangerous. And people have such different perspectives of this. Like we use tools all the time too. And we say this too, like if I have in my DAW, like if I have in my Logic session, I'm manipulating things all the time. We're sculpting things. I'm sending it to Kenny. He's sending it back. If and when AI is going to be in the DAW where I'm like, hey, I don't like that snare sound. Oh, I want it on the 2 instead of the 4. I want it, no, I still don't like it. Change it. That's very similar to what's going on now.
Yeah.
But what's like meaning when people are creating music in the studio, right? But the Suno side of things, that's just like, hey, make me a song that's Taylor Swift versus this, and it generates it, and now I'm an artist. That is to me very insane. And also, I think too, it's like it's completely neglecting where the music really comes from. And I think like that is something that like everybody has different spiritual beliefs and us, we're still trying to figure this out. But I think it's the thing that we're going to lose if we just don't actually start asking the questions about it. It's like, if you just let AI generate the music. Ooh, that's
a problem.
Are we going to close ourselves off to maybe a message or something that was trying to get through is now not coming through anymore because
it's depreciating music, and we know that, but it's depreciating music, and it's a huge problem. And as human beings, like, we are born after 9 months in the womb. 9 months we hung out in this womb party, and we grew and we developed, and it was such distinct process, and it was a process, and that's what makes us that makes a human being. Now I have this experience, and I'm on this earth, and I am making friends, and I have family, and that's an amazing thing, and that is our
unique, unique fingerprint.
What makes us who we are is the time it took to get us here.
Oh, that's very true.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it took us a long time as society to even get here technologically, and however the heck we are, like, time. Actually, people want to say like, oh, fast, you need to be fast. Blah, blah, blah. No, actually, we need to slow down as a society. We need to slow the hell down, because if I can make a song at the push of a button, who gives a shit?
Right. Yeah.
Why do I give a shit? So can you. I got 10 fingers. I'll make 10 right now. What does that mean? It means nothing. And you don't have enough ears to hear all the bullshit that I'm making with one press of a finger.
And you're not going to be fulfilled. And I would say that the only reason why I do this is because I wrote a song when I was 14. It was the hardest thing I ever did. And it changed my life. It made me realize I could do anything if I could do that.
Yeah.
And I want to see if I can do it again. Can I do it again? Like that. If you just decide to, not, and even like we both have taught music lessons, and we're very passionate about that too. It's like we saw a video of Prince talking about it, about how important it is to teach songwriting, because in the future, he was saying in like the 90s that there's not going to be anybody that's making songs anymore like that, and it's something that like we always talk about with kids, like get a kid on the piano when he's 5 years old, because it's the hardest thing that he'll ever do. But when he's 7, he'll see how much progress he made or she made. And that will allow them to do anything in life. Like knowing how terrible of a producer I was, and all the work and then as hard as it, and you see the fruit of that. And that to me is what's going to be lost tremendously, with this generation in general.
Yes. And it's not even their fault. It's not even their fault. Like, children nowadays, it's not even their fault that they don't know how to appreciate true art, because it's not being presented to them anymore.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, folks, the time has come. Class is dismissed. Turn in your papers. Hope you were taking lots of notes, because there's a lot to learn here. But to wrap this all up, we're going to ask you both, what is next for Pixiepunk?
Yeah. Well, Pixiepunk's got a new single tonight dropping. It's called Spies. I'm sure you can guess what it's about.
No clue. I'm lost.
It's epic.
You lost me.
It's a lot.
And we're really excited about it. It's another song that's kind of been in the coffers for a long time. Almost like 10 years we've been working on this song. Many different versions, and it's really, I think, more relevant now than ever.
It's one of the first songs that I heard from TJ that made me say I have to work with this person.
And she helped finish it. And I would say what's also next, as much as we keep talking about slowing down, we're very passionate about putting out 52 songs next year in 2027. That's our goal. Our goal is to put out 52 songs, one a week, songs that have been in the coffers for a long time. And we have a lot of people that have been waiting on a lot of music for us for a long time. So that's really what's next. And if you want to support that, please join our Patreon, because it's going to take every single person and everybody.
But not a lot if we have a lot. So everybody work together, help us do this because we're fully independent and we're happy to be so. And a song a week, we're going to do it. So however we end up doing it, I'm terrified, but it's going to be awesome.
I love this idea. I certainly cannot wait to hear everything. And folks, we've told you the full story. Now, here's what you do. You go to Pixiepunk.world. There we go. Pixiepunk.world. Everything is there. Follow their socials. Follow their music. Check out Spies. Check out all the music, actually. It's fucking amazing stuff. And next year, song a year. I'm excited. Let's make this thing happen. I cannot wait. To Lynzi and TJ, I want to say thank you both so much for joining us. It has been a blast to talk about all these things, and certainly looking forward to the next time we get you guys on the show.
Thank you so much, Max, Curtis. Thank you all so much for having us. This was an amazing conversation. Thank you for asking hard questions, great questions. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be back. We can talk for 6 hours.
Yeah.
We're doing that. We're doing it. Curtis, set the date. We're doing this thing. 6-hour show. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Thanks for listening to this episode. And please subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. It ensures you never miss an episode and helps our ranking, allowing others to discover the podcast more easily.
If you really like it, please share it with a friend and join our Citywide Blackout Facebook community, along with following us on Instagram at CitywideMax and at Citywide Interviews.
I'm your host, Max Bowen.
And I'm Curtis Hughes.
And we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Don't throw my name around the street. Here we all got enemies who wait outside till I'm destroyed. Maybe I'm just paranoid. I wait a week before I sleep. They got cameras in my dreams. Never believe that I'm alone. They got spies inside my home. They got spies inside our home. Spies inside our home. They'll blow our brains into the street and say we died from smoking weed. Defy the lines that bind our future. Put our minds inside computers. Watching me watch TV screens. They got eyes in my machines. Never believe that you're alone. They got spies inside our home. They got spies inside our home. Face outside these walls, play it safe, don't take phone calls. Unknown names and long lost friends. Never know who wants revenge. My greatest fear's not what they hear, but that they'll know more every year. Never believe that you're alone. They got spies inside our home. They got spies inside our home. Safe or careless, for the sake of the corporate state of parents, to lock away those who misbehave or raise awareness. In the age of mass surveillance and invisible sponsors, the walls are too close to wander. I warned you to slow down the pace, stay awake or be conquered. This is what we get for the tech that we conjure. Shooting feet of pigeons, every bird is suspicious. Even the ones that give them permission to listen. Too many words written in the terms and conditions with no resistance. Sick of every business, knowing my business, promoting my interest. Trip my phone for specifics. You really think you chose to click this? Our decisions not our own, are we not alone? They got spies and